Deny Jesus and live, or choose not to and die? It's a question that strikes fear into the heart of most Christians and forces us to question our faithfulness in God. But for two incredible girls from Iran, girls my age, this was their reality. Maryam and Marziyeh were placed into a situation where denying Jesus would literally save their lives. You see, they'd been sentenced to death by hanging, having been caught after distributing more than 20,000 Bibles in Tehran. For the majority of times, they would fill a backpack with Bibles, pray and ask God where they should distribute them, and then under the cover of darkness, they would simply place these Bibles in letterboxes. When they were caught, they were placed into Evin prison, one of the most notorious prisons on the planet. And they told me stories of friends who were regularly beaten, tortured, abused, and even killed. But as their case reached global media and pressure mounted for their release, the girls, they were regularly dragged before a judge who would simply say, write one sentence, saying that you'll convert from Christianity to Islam and we'll let you go. And each time they'd refuse. And the judge would grow more and more frustrated and say, no, you don't understand. If you don't do this, you will die here. And they replied, no, you don't understand. We've been threatened with death before. That's not the problem. We're not afraid of death. What we're afraid of is a life without faith, without our Saviour Jesus Christ. You know, we so often link stories of victory and miraculous provision with God's faithfulness. But have we made a horrible mistake in doing this? Is God any less faithful in the countless stories that involve hardship, suffering, and loss? One of the biggest struggles in my own journey has been the fact that, well, I seem to equate God's faithfulness with his provision of safety. And it's essentially rendered Jesus as this kind of blend between Superman and Santa Claus, a superhero that will sweep in and save the day wherever, whenever, and however I need him. And in those moments when my prayer isn't answered immediately or how I want it to be answered, I question God's faithfulness. What most people don't know with Maryam and Marziyeh is that their safety, it came at a huge cost. Physical and emotional scars that run deep. The death of many close friends. And yes, their story ends the way we like it, released after 259 days with one of those exciting stories that we all crave. But trust in God's faithfulness, that's what defines this story. Because whether it worked out the way we all wanted it to or not, it wouldn't have changed a thing. You see, their lawyer would tell them, if you convert to Islam, we can exploit a loophole. It allows you to tell a lie of convenience. And they would reply and say, we will never convert, not even for the sake of momentary convenience. It's stories like Maryam and Marziyeh, who because of Jesus, they stand in the face of culture in some of the most confrontational places on the planet. They're stories that inspire us, encourage us. But do they change us? Because Jesus isn't a mix between Superman and Santa Claus. And by following him, we don't get a life of safety. We get a great commission that involves suffering, hardship, but an assurance of eternity with him. A story, it may not end the way we want, but ultimately, God is always faithful.